Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're gonna talk about Insta360 ONE RS 1-inch 360. I don't know who came up with this name, but it's stupid. So this is a 360-degree camera. Now why this is such an interesting thing is simply because Insta360, when they jumped into the ecosystem of action cams, it was very saturated, and not to mention the market is also going down. Like you can check into the bank profile of stock value of GoPro, and it went up and then it went down. Like right now it's not even close to its peak. It is like saturated. So when they came into this market, which is already saturated by DJI, GoPro and many clones, they came up with a new concept. They gonna use modular webcam. I'm saying basically modular system, and this is continuation of that system. Many companies have tried and claimed to make modular equipments, be it LG with his phone, be it Red with his camera phone. But reality is many companies, even though claim it or release it one product, but they never continue it. This company is completely opposite to that. The company actually doing it. It's like, yeah, we claimed it, we're gonna make it a modular system that you can upgrade, enhance, or add functionality to it as you choose fit. They're actually doing it. So this is a new camera module. Now the main selling point of it, why we are even talking about this, is this puppy. It has dual 1-inch sensor. Now 1-inch sensor is huge compared to almost any sensor that is used in any portable devices, unless you are talking about Micro Four Third, which is a bit bigger, APS-C even still bit bigger, full frame really bigger, and then you go to cinema format as like 65mm, then it's medium format. So 1-inch is really big. What does that mean? Does that mean better low light? Yes and no. If the sensor itself is not enough, basically, when you have sensor, you also have to process it through a digital signal processor. Now, digital signal processor, if it's a really high quality, then only you will get amazing results. So if you have ever noticed how the heck mobile phone went up, like, quality by quality, it's not because the sensor is going better. It's simply because the digital processor that is processing the image is getting better. But if you give that processor a larger sensor, then it's better. That's this company's main aim is. 1-inch sensor, it's kind of new thing. Even you can find cheap versions of it in Sony mobile phone. Again, they are tricking the audience simply saying that they have physical sensor, but like again, it's only using a cropped area of it. So that's pointless. Here, it's not like that. It's like it's trying to fisheye the whole thing. Now, what's the benefit of it? You get bit better low light performance, not too much. Do not expect it. It's not full frame, it's not medium format. And not to mention, because of the fisheye lens itself, the aperture is not that wide. So inherently, it's not like whoa, much better than everything else, but not like whoa better. And then the main reason why would you want to do this is simply because when you have good amount of light source, meaning daylight in beach, then this will give you really true colors. The reason why colors from mobile phones and action cams looks different, is like does not look real, is simply because the sensor is capturing, but is capturing very noisy data, and processor is trying the hell out of it to just smooth it out to its best ability. But again, that's inherently smearing the data, so you don't have quality data. So garbage in, okay out. Here, good in, really good out. So that's why we are talking about this dual 1-inch sensor. So this is tangibly good. Now be very mindful, it's expensive puppy. This is $800. So basically expensive iPhone kind of territory. And if you do not have, if you have pre-invested in the system and you have the core, you do not have to buy the core. So you can buy it at around $650. So you will get the battery, the cradle and the lens unit. That's for $650. Now, like, wait a minute, that's expensive. Well, yes, it's expensive, fundamentally expensive, because can you get something like this even better? Absolutely. There is, even the same company has a much bigger ball version that uses a Micro Four Third, which is still bigger than this, but that's 10 grand. And there are companies that you will give you setups, custom setups that can have full frame sensors, but they are like idiotically expensive. So from that point of view, these things are cheap. And from past point of view, meaning there are other companies also that try to release 360 camera with a dual 1-inch system. They were in $2,000 price. So from a realistic point of view, it's surprisingly cheap, and it's meant for high quality content creation. Can you do the job of this puppy with other 360 camera or cheaper variant of this camera itself from the Insta360? Absolutely. And in many scenarios, you may even get better variability, meaning better FPS. This does not have that high FPS. However, quality will not be matched. It has quality. So if you are in a journey where you are like, you know what, I can afford quality, this is a good investment. So if you are in a position where you're making money with your content, you're like, I really want to add some more color, more true to life, invest in this. Travel vloggers will love this. And 360 virtual tours from basically property sellers, they will simply say shut up and take my money, because they do invest in very expensive equipment to capture properly. And this can give you surprisingly high quality images surprisingly quickly on your mobile phone. So that matters a lot from a realtor's point of view, this is like a equipment that they will buy, and by the time they are successfully selling 2-3 properties, they're like, dude, I already recovered the cost of it. So there is some tangible use to it. So do not think it's like, oh, it's too expensive. Yeah, for what it is, but what is competing against is free. So this is why we are talking about this. So what was this module? Well, this is an add-on on Insta360 module kits. So basically, if you have this one RS kit already, you can just plug it in, same CPU. They have not changed it. That was the whole point of this modular design in the first place. So add just battery and lens, and this is the best 360-degree footage. Again, be mindful, do not compare this to other 1-inch system like Sony cameras, like RX100 series, simply because that is a dedicated lens system. A fisheye will never be as good as a telephoto system. So fundamentally, it's good, but not wow. And not to mention the aperture is also not that great. Physically, it can't be. It will become too huge. So it is really good for 360 system. Now it is water resistant because it's a modular system. It does not have a closed shell around it. Inherently, it's water resistant only. Meaning, if it rains, you can still shoot, but like do not try to dip it under water. That's its limit. And it can do 6K 30 FPS. Now 6K may sound odd, and it is odd because again, broadcast resolution always goes in full step. So you will have HD, then you will directly go to 4K, then you will directly go to 8K. You will never have in between. So why we are talking about here in between? Again, it's a balance. Should they have gone for higher resolution? Absolutely, because when you are stretching the resolution in 360-degree cone, meaning the whole sphere, then you crop out a small area, you will find out that does not have enough resolution. Meaning, it's inherently, if you want to get full pixel to pixel, as in like full HD crop, it's super wide lens. So many times people are like, not really that happy. That's why this resolution has to keep going up and up. And that's why when you buy professional equipments for this sort of series, they will be like around 12K, 36K. Yeah, people go to that level. Then only you will have like, okay, I have the 360 sphere. Now, if I zoom in some area, it does not look black. That's why it's 6K. Now, is it better than everything else? Not that much, but still better than, having just 4K. So that's the whole point, and it does not have the 30-minute limit. It can record up to 60 minutes. Now be mindful, this sort of system not supposed to use for that long because it will overheat and it will drain the battery very quickly. So 60 is the upper limit. So this is the caddy, this is the battery, and this is the main brains and the new lens system. You may have already have the brain if you have already invested in this company system, and then you have to buy these 3 things, which will be $650. Now, what about the app? Now, this is where this company is completely different from Canon, Nikon, Sony. They are working their ass off to actually make the app useful, and there is completely stock contrast from every other company. Like if Fuji releases a new camera, go into its website. I'm saying go to YouTube video. The first comment was like, "I have this Fuji camera. Can you please fix the app? I have this Fuji camera. Can you please fix that? Can you please fix your app?" Same goes for Sony. Same goes for almost every other company other than Panasonic. It's raw garbage. It's like, at this point in time, I have like this camera has Wi-Fi, but for some reason I cannot transfer the raw file. I'm like, what the hell you will do transferring raw files? Right now, mobile phone have proper version of Lightroom. I can edit the raw files directly in a raw format. I don't even need to convert it to DNG, even though that's an option nowadays. But it's like camera companies like, what if we F the customer? So this is completely different. They know for a fact that having a tool, it's only half of the battle. Having a way to utilize that tool efficiently, that's the difference between every other company and Apple. That's what Apple figured out. Like, having the tool itself is not that good enough. Having a way of using that tool without friction, that's the butter. So they are really working their ass off, and it's really useful. What does that mean? That simply means 360 footage. If somebody ever shows you, you will be overwhelmed by it, because it's like, it's a 2-camera sensor. It's like, it's something like that. It will overwhelm you. Now, if you know what you're doing, that's like good. So they are like, hey, if you are a new time comer, or if like you're starting it out, you will be overwhelmed by it. So we're gonna give you an AI-based 360 system, where because they have been working on this behind the scene for so many years, and it was released many times ago. So as in like they have been going through iteration after iteration, crunching after crunching after crunching. So at this point in time, it's surprisingly good what it can create. And you can also do flat key framing. So meaning you have 360-degree sphere. If you are sending from your camera to other VR receiver, meaning goggles and things of that nature, awesome, GG, direct 1-to-1 copy, don't think too much about it. But if you are sending into flat framing, meaning you want to show it on your mobile phone or your screen, then they have to do cropping, zoom in and frame it the same. That can be done by AI itself. So fundamentally, they know for a fact that without that framing, like look at here, it means nothing. Like it has that unique power. Whoa, I'm looking everywhere, but it's like after a while you get bored to it. After a while you're like, dude, show me what's more the interesting part. That's the one thing that it can do. And if you're like, hey, I want my face to be focused now, I want this thing to be focused now, you can do that. You can keyframe those things very easily on mobile phone directly without any extra hassle. They have also developed their desktop app, and they are also developing developed already Premiere plugin. So surprisingly well thought out of ecosystem in terms of not the hardware, also the software side of things. So very easy to use and works in real time, meaning if you are talking about small clips, I'm not talking like a clip that is like freaking 60-minute long. If it's a small clip, then in those sort of scenario you can directly real time edit it on your mobile phone, and then the export file will be exported to your mobile phone directly. So that really helps you if you are doing a quick TikTok or quick Insta reel, things of that nature. So all these things, what does it mean? This simply means it's very easy to use. Meaning if you buy it, you won't just take it, use it, and then just throw it in a Almira and never open it up again. It is something that you will use simply because the app ecosystem is so comfortable, so to say. And there are other lot of extra goodies. For example, somebody thought of it that there are so many companies. For example, I have also had a scenario where we had this thing, meaning we had a table and there were four people on each side. We had a TV, something similar to this, and we had a webcam here. So basically every person to that other client side will be looking at like a tiny post-it. Somebody figured out this puppy can record 360. What if we put it in center of the table and then you get split screen, side A and side B? I'm like, thank you. Somebody sat down and is like, hey, we can do this. We have a camera. What if we use this? And this is the thing that why I specify. Like having a tool, it's half of the battle. Having a proper way of using that tool, that's the amazing side of it. This is the amazing aspect of it. Like somebody thought of it like, hey, we have a 360 camera. What if we have a side A and side B split screen? And they have tested with OBS, Zoom, and things of that nature. It's like, thank you. They have cold shoe also. Now you're like, why the heck this needs cold shoe? What if you are doing it properly and you want to have audio recording? Meaning I'm doing something similar. I have Rode Wireless Go 2 on my top of my camera and my wireless mic here. Let's say you have two person, one person on side A, one person on side B, and you want to send the footage. Now here's the deal. Where would you mount the receiver? If the receiver is placed in a position where lens is expecting something, lens will, do not know how to occlude it, meaning it will not able to remove it properly. So they created this for basically frame, and if you attach the frame is designed in such a way that is in the blind spot, quote unquote, so it will not show up in your footage. And they designed it for DJI and Rode. It's like this thought of it is like, what if you want to use the mic? However, there is a bit of compromise. It only records stereo track. For one individual, good enough. For dual individual, not great, but be mindful, stereo tracks, if you're talking one after the another, that will be fine. That will be fine. You don't have to do too much about it. And if you still have to send basically stereo mix directly, so mono audio has something in basically any software, any video editing software, you can sync tracks, because all of these new receivers, they have onboard recording. So you can still get two clear audio recording with proper syncing without too much issue. Again, I would have preferred to have stereo, but again, some effort is better than no effort. So that's a really awesome. Then we have invisible selfie stick. Selfie stick also, they had a lot of complaints like twist lock is not that really good. And not to mention, if you are in a place where you have sand, really not that good. So they are like, okay, now it's a friction fit, completely sealed, awesome. And be mindful, can you replace this stick with some your stick? Yes, if his stick is better than this one. Be mindful, the stick is also has an occlusion area, meaning computer is expecting my stick is inside this cone. So it will occlude that cone. It does not have the intelligence of, oh, this is the stick, I'm gonna remove it. It removes that cone. So if your stick bends too much, meaning if you have a long stick and it bends too much, it will not be able, it will be outside of the cone and you will see the stick floating out. That's why if you want to replace it with the other stick, you can. Be mindful, it has to be stiff stick. If it's not stiff, don't blame the company. So that's really good. It really allows you to have that floating camera viewpoint. And there are many other small touches. I'm not talking like big, whoa kind of thing. It's like small touch. Like somebody is like, hey, we have the tool. How about we use it properly? And I'm genuinely happy because this sort of camera company, it's a new company. It does not have the same might of Sony or Nikon or Canon. But what they are showing is like how we can integrate apps. It's really awesome. It's like, I'm really happy with that. It's like some companies like, hey, how about we make our customers' life easier rather than saying F you to the customer. I'm really happy with that. Like this tool alone, it's like many of our business meetings would be like, just shut up and buy this. Don't even think about it. Don't even argue about it. Just shut up and buy this equipment for this function alone. Like there is no conversation here. It's just like, shut up and buy it. And be mindful, conference tools that we utilize for meetings, they are far expensive than this. So again, from their point of view, it's like, shut up and take my money. That's the thing. It's really awesome. So this was my presentation on ludicrously weird camera name, camera company. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.